I watched Return to Silent Hill. What the fuck? What in the actual hell is that? I'm actually stunned. I am stunned. Because not only does it just misunderstand what Silent Hill is in general. Bear in mind, okay, let me just preface this. I've not watched the first Silent Hill movie, nor Revelations. I'm not watching Revelations. I do want to watch the first Silent Hill movie, because maybe then I could appreciate what this movie's trying to do. But on top of that, is also adapting Silent Hill 2 story. And the way they adapted it is the most horrific bastardization I've ever seen. And I just discussed today, I just talked about Kiwami Free and Dark Ties. And that was before I saw the ending leaks for Dark Ties and Kiwami Free. This is worse than that. Actually, no, it's not. But still, this is bad. This is fucking just abysmal. It is abysmal. I'm not sure whether to like. There'll be light spoilers here and there because there are just things that I just cannot comprehend in my mind without like saying it out loud, trying to make sense of it, and then going, yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense because it just doesn't work. And the way they just do things. Okay, let's just get started with the first thing, okay? So, let's start with, I guess, the way the movie looks. I was going to say game. The movie. Let's start with the way the movie looks. And I think the movie, in certain points, look okay. There are a lot of areas where I'm just like, this looks like I'm watching like a video game, which is ironic. But also, it looks like I'm watching an American commercial. You know how saturated and, oh, look at all these like bloom effects that we're putting, the lens flare and showing all these like happy memories and everything like that. You know how American commercials look. Yeah, it looks like that, and I hate that the way it looks like that. There are a lot of shots though within the movie that I did like the look of. It was like interesting to see, and the way they like did things, I did like those shots, and it was cool imagery. I have to say, it was cool, and I liked the music choices that they made, especially from like the games. Hearing Waiting for You, and I think one of the tracks came from Silent Hill 3. I couldn't remember exactly which one it was, but hearing those in there was nice. But that's video game music. The soundtrack itself wasn't really, it just wasn't really anything. I wasn't really focusing too much on that. I would like hear things from Silent Hill 2 and I'd be like, oh, it's this track, and then I'll like slightly hum along with it, but but it just doesn't really have a soundtrack that was interesting, which is a shame because Akira Yamaoka, I'm pretty sure, did the soundtrack for this movie. So the fact that it just didn't really hit the same or feel like Silent Hill it just didn't really jive well with me. But again, it was fine. It worked for the movie. Again, I mainly recognize the game track, so listening to the movie itself along with the like its script and everything, I was like, alright, cool, whatever. The otherworld stuff, like when you go into like the great like things and everything like that, you see all the monsters and everything. I thought at first it was cool because it's like, okay, they were doing like the filters and like film grains like increasing, and there's like little sketch marks and everywhere. The transformations were pretty cool. I think they got that from the remake, which I will say is an alright choice. I mean, I like Silent Hill 2 remake. I liked it. I just like Silent Hill. especially the first 4 games. I do really like the first 4 games, and Silent Hill 2 happens to be my favorite because in the past I used to relate to certain aspects of James with like the guilt, hating yourself and everything like that, which is present in this version of James, except the way they go about it just doesn't work because of just the twists and reveals. We'll get to that, but yeah, it just, there were aspects where I'm just like, okay, this works kind of. I like the way the Otherworld looks. I mean, I've liked Otherworld for a really long time. Ever since I've seen Silent Hill for the first time, I'm like, oh wow, this looks like actually scary and terrifying to be in. And obviously I was a kid back then. Nowadays I'm just like, yeah, this looks really cool. I really like the grunge that it exudes from it whenever it appears, and the transitions into the Otherworld when it's not doing like the flickering and it's like whoa and all that. It was pretty cool. I really liked how they did it. It reminded me of Silent Hill F, of how they like transitioned into the like Otherworld in that, and I'm just glad that they kind of continued it. Hopefully in the new like Silent Hill projects we get to see Otherworld transitions be like super like cool like these that we've seen. Hopefully it's not in the same way with like veins like growing out everywhere, but like just different ways of showing that the world is like falling apart around the characters. The characters themselves, I think they aren't awful, but they're also not good. I don't really like how they made James like a drunkard, and obviously like he's suffering from the guilt he's feeling for, you know, doing what he did to Mary, but like the way they go about it is just like, this seems very typical. And he doesn't even look like James. If you know Condemned Criminal Origins, you know the sequel, Condemned 2. Yeah, there was a sequel, if you didn't know. He looks like Ethan. He looks like Ethan from fucking Condemned more than James. I was thinking that in my head. I was just laughing when I was in the cinema because I was like, he just looks like Ethan from Condemned. He doesn't look like James. And to be fair, if you want an actor for Ethan in a Condemned movie, if that ever happens, then yeah, you got your actor. Yeah, I just think that James wasn't great. Like there were aspects where I'm just like, or like there were parts where I'm just like, he like it works, but when you get towards the end of the hospital part of the movie, he just kind of switches up, and it's like, what? When does this happen? Why do you just switch up like that? And the way they reveal, oh my god. Well, again, I need to hold myself off. I need to hold myself off when talk about the reveals. That's before like the very deep spoiler section. So if you don't want to get spoiled and you want to watch the movie, I obviously will say when I'm about to spoil, but like, go watch a movie first if you don't want to like have these surprises ruined and be like, wow, he was right. It's pretty fucking shit. I think Mary, Angela, Laura, and Eddie. I thought Eddie's portrayal was okay, but the thing is, he was barely in the movie. Apparently, he got cut out for a lot of it, and that really sucks because I didn't mind his portrayal that they did. It falls in line with like how he is later in Silent Hill 2, but I didn't mind it. He didn't look like Eddie. He was fucking he was weirdly like infected and shit, and I didn't really like the way he looked. He didn't look like Eddie to me, but I feel like they could have done more. It feels like a huge chunk of the movie is like missing with his character. And Laura and Angela, I'm gonna pit them together because I feel like they also don't have that much time to really shine in this movie. They didn't really get the opportunity to actually be the characters that they were written as in the game. And I know that the movie is going for a whole different thing, but like, if you really want to do or tell the Silent Hill 2 story, you need to give these characters the space and time to properly be fleshed out and actually, you know, be memorable and actually have an effect on people and everything like that. The movie just doesn't really do that. You're spending most of the time with James running from monsters, and like you got the cheap jump scares and everything, and it's like, like this is meant to be a character drama. Not fully, it's a horror thing, I know, but like, this is Silent Hill. This is about the people, you know, the people and the town, and the ideas that come from it, or like the psyches of these people that when they enter this town. So it just doesn't really work when you are focusing mainly on the guy that, you know, is holding himself back a lot. And fucking hell, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I think Mary and Maria, they were okay. I think the actress did a decent job. I mean, I'm pretty sure she played Angela, Mary, and Maria. But she did a really good job. Like, she's got some range with playing as the characters, because it's like, yeah, you can feel like they're different. I didn't even recognize her as Angela. But obviously you can see that in Maria and Mary. But yeah, the way that she had some good range. I think she had some good range within acting, but I just think that if she was given a slightly better script and, you know, was a little bit more emotional within the performance, I think, when it comes to playing as, I think, Maria, then sure, I think it would, like, it works. I think she works within the movie's, like, tone and everything. It's just everything around it, around her, and just, it just all collapses and just topples, becomes rubble, and just like, it's just not good. It's just not great. It's not good at all. So, and that leads me to talking about spoilers. I again, if you do not want to watch spoilers, pretty much the rest of this video will probably mostly be spoilers. So if you don't want to see any of that, bye. But I'm going to start talking now in 3, 2, 1. Spoiler time. The reveal that Maria, or Mary, Angela, and Laura are the same person was certainly a choice. It was certainly a choice. And the fact that James, like, I was talking to other people who watched the movie, the fact that James, the reason why he was all sad or like forgotten why he came to Silent Hill or whatever was because he forgot Mary's middle name. That's why he was seeing like Angela and Laura. It is very funny. It was very funny. And I also think that just James, the Pyramid Head, like spoiling, like the teasing and like the just pretty much spoiling as soon as you meet him, when it like shows his, like, James's eye inside the head of Pyramid Head. It's like, why would you do that? That just ruins the, like, the punishment aspect of James. Like, he thinks he deserves punishment, which, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Why would you ruin that by just showing his eye inside the thing? It just doesn't work. And then when he's having these flashbacks about the cult with Mary, that's also another thing. What, like, I guess this is more of a Silent Hill movie 1 thing, where the cult is very involved, but that's Silent Hill 1. This is Silent Hill 2. The cult only gets mentioned like very few times within Silent Hill 2. So when you have just James going like mad at Mary, I keep mixing up their names, but if you have James getting mad at Mary for like trying to like just appeasing to this cult, then it's like, sure, you can be mad about it, and like but you should have like left the town like ages ago, you know. And there's just so much. There's just so much. So yeah, the cult from like Silent Hill 1 is there, and it just doesn't. I don't think it works. Like the way they try to incorporate it and make it like work, it just doesn't really work in my opinion, because it's just so. It's just kind of there. It's kind of just thrown at you, and I just think that they could have done like a build up to the cult being the reason why Mary was being sick and everything. Obviously they did, like you first see them when they meet up at Heaven's Night, and then you see them doing like their little ritual inside the apartment, and then they're doing like the whole like weird bloody thing with like, I'm pretty sure red phosphorus from Silent Hill 1. She drinks like a red liquid, and like they're doing what, I don't know, they were doing like this weird thing, like they were like eating her or like drinking blood or something like that, which is like sure. And obviously her dad's like the leader, so it's like, okay, there's the Angela aspect, I guess, from that. But like, again, why did you combine the characters together? It doesn't, I feel like it just doesn't work in the movie, or just the way that you want to like retell Silent Hill 2's story. It just doesn't really work. And then fucking the hospital scene when they're like in the elevator, well, even no, not even in the elevator. So remember in Silent Hill 2 where you have like James chases off Laura, and he goes into like the room, and you have to fight like the beds in the ceiling. Remember that? So he doesn't fight the bed. He just lets it like put its hand down his throat, and then from there you have the revelation of him being he's going insane essentially, and like is riddled with guilt. And after that, when they're in like the basement, which turns into like this labyrinth thing, which you don't see until like the Lakeview Hotel, I'm pretty sure, or like way later. But anyways, yeah, so when they're in this labyrinth of all these paintings of Maria is like begging James to like stop going, but he's like, you're not real or whatever. And then he causes Pyramid Head to kill her, and Maria is just gone from the movie now. Like, I just, what? It doesn't make any sense. Like, within the movie, like, if you think about the game, James is constantly letting like Maria die because, oh, fucking, you know, he's like his brain, his like psyche of Silent Hill, the town itself, is reminding him that Maria/Mary is going, like, she's dead, and you killed her. That's why Pyramid Head is there to like chase him down or whatever, because that's like, obviously that's him, but like he's there to punish him. And also after the death of Maria, like after James causes Pyramid Head to kill Maria in a weirdly the probably the most gory scene in the movie, it's like he paints over, like he has like a painting of him, and he paints the Pyramid Head. I'm just so... I'm trying to process this fucking movie. I'm trying to process. Because, like, it has been a while since I played Silent Hill 2, but I do know the details. I know the plot, like, the back of my fucking hand. But it's like... I just... I don't... I just ended up laughing towards the end of the movie. Because after, like, everything, and he's at the Lakeview Hotel, Laura is like, oh, do you remember now? Like that hit, like, Angela and Laura are both Mary because it's her middle name. And when he goes to the rooftop, I thought it was going to be, oh, he's going to get thrown off because they've switched a lot, like a few of the like events that happen. Also, the abstract daddy fight, like, it's just there. It's just there. Like, at least like the room is there. The room's there. You don't see the abstract daddy though. You just, like, James is like, oh, whoa, or whatever. And then he goes to the rooftop and he sees the bed. Then you have like the flashback of Mary's like actual death, where it's not like where she resents him or whatever, and then she feels guilty and is like, come back, James, I need you, or whatever. You know, like in the end of Silent Hill 2, when you're like walking down that long corridor and you're like hearing like the argument, and then Mary begging James and everything to like come back and everything. It's like, yeah, no, you don't get that anymore. It's just her actually telling James, telling him to kill her. And it just, I just sat there and I was like, this doesn't, what in the fuck? That doesn't work. Like, sure, you can still feel guilty after that, but like, no. Like, in the original, James, when he killed Mary, was thinking, oh, it's a mercy killing, I don't want her suffering anymore. And obviously she was also kind of asking for it to stop as well, but like, she just wanted him there, essentially. She just wanted him there and not to, like, you know, have her life quickly so cut off. James just thought, oh, you know, mercy killing and all that, and then he like was so guilty he convinced himself it was the disease that killed her. And also the time length of them being together, they're not even married in this, they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. And then like the time frame after their breakup was like a month or so. She died, so, or it was either a month or a year, like, that she died. And I don't think that's a long enough time frame. I don't think it's a long enough time frame. And then the end of it, the very ending of the movie, it's the in water ending. James kills himself. And I just sat there and I just laughed. I was like, are you actually fucking serious? Are you actually serious? You did the in water ending? You didn't even think of doing any other ending? Because like the director or whoever was writing the script in like the screenplay probably like read online or something that the in water ending was the canon one. It's not. And then it doesn't it doesn't even end there, by my mind. It goes back to the beginning of the movie where James is like driving down the highway and then he meets Mary, and it's repeating itself, but this time he drives off with her to the next city, because I assume this is what he wanted. This is heaven now, or hell, whatever it is. And then that's it. That's the end of the movie. He just drives off with Mary towards wherever. And I just sat back. I sat back because I was like leaning forward. I sat back. I just put my hands over my head like this. and I just laughed. I just laughed because fucking this was the fucking most ridiculous movie I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some pretty bad movies. I've seen fucking Shark Boy and Lava Girl and whatever. But this movie, as an adaptation of one of my favorite stories in video games, is just abysmal. It is abysmal. And I've given no praises. I like the way some of the sets, like some of the shots and like the composition and everything looked. The sets looked nice. I think the sets looked really nice. The monster designs were faithful enough. The weird spider like bug thing didn't. I thought they were just gonna use the mannequin legs, but they didn't. Kind of wish they did. Had a nice ass though. And yeah, this movie just isn't, it's just not good. It's not good. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of Silent Hill fans or like new people who want to go watch this like new horror movie or whatever, never heard of Silent Hill, and be like, oh, I thought that was a decent movie. I actually quite like the twist and everything. And it's like, no, dude. This movie set the fan base back and this just the franchise back 10 years. We're gonna go back to dormancy after this like Silent Hill 1 remake and whatever projects that they have. Okay, we're gonna go back to being dormant. We're never gonna get Silent Hill things again because this is just terrible. It's just terrible. It's just bad. Just like I'm just baffled by this movie. I'm baffled by just a lot of things that they did within it. It was nice hearing, again, it was just nice hearing the game, like some of the music from the games, especially from like Silent Hill 4 and 3, and it was cool, it was neat, but yeah, this movie's just straight up ass. I don't recommend going and watching this movie. If you have friends maybe who are also fans of Silent Hill and you want a good laugh at the ridiculousness that is this movie, then sure. But I don't know, man. It just isn't like, I don't think it's just a fundamentally good Silent Hill movie. I was like the same people I was talking to in the cinema said if this wasn't a Silent Hill movie, then it could have worked. If it didn't have Silent Hill in the name, then it would have been a decent watch. And I agreed. If it wasn't Silent Hill, I would be like, okay, well, first of all, this is just ripping off Silent Hill. That would be my first reaction. But two, I wouldn't be so harsh on it. That's the thing. I feel like I wouldn't be as harsh on the movie if it wasn't named Silent Hill. If it was named something else, and had like different character names and everything, and then I'll just be like, yeah, that was an okay movie. Didn't really make sense with some of the twists, but you know, it was okay. But because it is Silent Hill and it's based off Silent Hill 2, it just kind of misrepresents and misinterprets literally everything about it, and adds things that just didn't work, like the cult, and removing like Eddie from the movie because I feel like he is essential to James's character development and just all learning like that one side of him, you know, that he exhibits with his verbal, like the way he verbally says things to people, you know, when he gets like his when he gets like slightly angry at like people and all that within the game. It's like, yeah, you can kind of see that. And then when Eddie is like full on like, you know, going crazy, he's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, I shot him. And it's like, yeah, it kind of shows like, it's kind of showing James, like if he didn't keep like certain like things intact or like his anger or whatever, then yeah, it would make sense. Like that's just how I view Silent Hill, and like there's some of its characters like Eddie and James. Like I feel like they're good counterparts. But yeah, I'm just rambling. I'm rambling and I want to just stop talking about this movie. I mean, I'm gonna keep mentioning it with throughout throughout its freshness, but yeah, I'm rambling at this point, which is the point of the video. But I want this to be short. I have another video coming out soon, and yeah. Anyways, whether it's a day, night, or afternoon, stay safe out there. Don't go too crazy, and don't watch Return to Silent Hill unless you have friends and you feel like just having a good laugh. Then go ahead. But if you're a fan of Silent Hill 2 or just Silent Hill in general, this movie does not do it, okay? Alright? Do not watch it, alright? Anyways, bye. Leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. Who gives a shit?